morning and welcome. My name is Anita Earls, and I serve you as the Senior Associate Justice on the North Carolina Supreme Court. It is my great honor and pleasure to welcome you here this morning for this amazing occasion. I will caution you that we are intending to be a little more informal. Normally, at a formal event, the court would acknowledge all of the amazing dignitaries in the room, which takes about half an hour, and there would be an important order to go in. But Allison told me about 20 minutes ago that I'm going to do this, so she apparently thinks I won't mess it up. So I do, however, even acknowledging that we are informal, there's a couple people that I just have to single out. And I want to start with her parents. Her mom is here with us this morning, and I have to say that this journey to this point was not a normal one for the parent of a candidate for the North Carolina Supreme Court. And in particular, not only the way they supported her through the incredible challenges that she faced, but when their own votes were challenged, they had the courage to come forward and be public and to speak about that. And that is really above and beyond, and we're all grateful to you for that. And then I also have to acknowledge and thank her husband, Brian. I had something of a sneaking suspicion that when they were married 4 years ago, about this time, he didn't foresee that he would become the spouse of a political candidate. And that is not an easy thing to do. And in particular, as women candidates, we're told that we have to, the men bring their spouses and they support them and they're visible and they're public and it's all great and grand. For the women candidates, you have to walk this fine line because you're told that if, you have to stand boldly on your own to prove you're strong. But I gotta tell you, this is a powerhouse political couple. I say that from the personal experience of watching Brian work a room, watching him support Allison. He learns all the names of everybody in the room and who she needs to talk to, and he remembers them all the next time she's with them. And just the incredible strength that it took to support her through all of this. I'll tell you one other quick story. I was at an event. People are now often confusing me with Allison, and they come up and say I'm Allison. I don't disabuse them, whatever. But this man came up to me, he's like, I saw you at blah, 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 and I knew it wasn't me because I didn't go to blah, 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 but I saw you there, and I met your husband, and he was amazing. Please give him my regards. So Brian, I'm not the only one who acknowledges, and thank you for being a part of getting us to this point. And finally, I have to, and I mean this, I'm speaking from the heart now, how incredibly grateful I am to every single one of you in this room. We are at a moment in our democracy where it takes everyone standing up and standing strong for the principles that every vote should count and count equally. That's what I've devoted my career to, and for most of that career it was about finding the right structures, but we're now in a different era. We're at a time, and I wish I could say it was all over today, but we are in a time when it's going to take each one of us standing up. And sometimes that means it's hard work, sometimes that means it's at risk to us, and it's a really challenging moment. And each one of you, in all the ways that you supported Justice Riggs in her campaign, each one of you did that. You stood up and you said, our democracy matters, we're not going to stand by and see legitimate votes be thrown out. And so I just have to say how incredibly grateful I am to you and to caution you that it's not over. So I'm going to need you to keep doing that until we get to a point where we have courts and legislatures and institutions that also live out those principles. But today we are here to celebrate and to acknowledge and to recognize and to swear an oath of office to this amazing woman who I know will continue to be an incredibly great justice. And again, I'm speaking from personal experience here. When I first met Allison in 2009 and saw how she came to the work of protecting our democracy by working on redistricting, training communities about how to be engaged in redistricting, the way that she jumped in with passion and heart and brilliance and understanding to make it possible for local communities to impact how their boundaries and districts were drawn. And then to see how she grew as a lawyer, how she ultimately argued twice in the US Supreme Court at a time, early on in her career, the courage and heart that it took to do that, the hard work, the sharp elbows she had to have sometimes, because when there's a Supreme Court argument, everybody wants to argue, and it takes a lot of strength to be able to follow through on that path. And then to see what she's done on the court. She is a brilliant jurist. She finds the issues I miss. We don't always agree, but that's because we have the courage of our convictions. We understand deliberation. We can toss ideas off of each other. I'm like so grateful to each one of you for bringing her back, because I just couldn't survive the next 2 years without her. Say one more thing. All of this work that Allison does is because of her tremendous heart for the people of this state. And again, I say that from personal experience. She has never shied away from defending me from the racist attacks that she sees me face. I hope that I've been able to defend her from the sexist attacks that I've seen her face, but it takes a lot of courage to stand up and speak out when those things are happening, and Allison has never shied away from that, no matter what the consequences. And so, Allison, with incredible gratitude, admiration, and just excitement, I'm going to now administer the oath of office. You place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Allison Riggs,
I, Allison Riggs,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I, Allison Riggs,
I, Allison Riggs,
do solemnly and sincerely swear
do solemnly and sincerely swear
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
to the state of North Carolina
to the state of North Carolina
and to the constitutional powers and authorities which are or may be established for the government thereof, and that I will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the Constitution of said state, not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States, to the best of my knowledge and ability, so help me God.
So help me God.
I, Allison Riggs,
I, Allison Riggs,
do solemnly swear that I will administer justice without favoritism to anyone or to the state, that I will not knowingly take, directly or indirectly, any fee, gift, gratuity, or reward whatsoever, for any matter or thing done by me or to be done by me
or to be done by me
by virtue of my office,
by virtue of my office,
except the salary and allowances
except the salary and allowances
by law provided, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge
all the duties
of
Associate Justice of the Supreme Court
Associate Justice of the Supreme Court
of the North Carolina General Court of Justice
of the North Carolina General Court of Justice
to the best of my ability and understanding,
to the best of my ability and understanding,
and consistent with the Constitution and laws of the state,
the Constitution and laws of the state,
so help me God.
so help me God. Thank you. I am so proud to stand here today before you, sworn in once again as your Supreme Court Justice. Thank you so much for being here today. Just so everyone knows, the formal investiture will be next month, so we will have ample time for further celebrations, ample time for me to thank all of the many people who got me here, even if it takes 734 minutes. Thank you for your trust and unwavering support. It is my honor to serve each and every one of you. Today, I am filled with hope because of the people in this room and the people of North Carolina. You chose a path forward where power stays in the hands of people, not politicians. You demanded accountability and used your voices to speak out for our constitutional rights. You stepped up to protect voters, including military members and their families serving us overseas. Thank you. I'm going to use these brief remarks to express my gratitude, but also my commitment to the voters of North Carolina. In the last 6 months of this fight, many of you thanked me for my commitment and energy in this fight. It was never an option for me to give anything less. I learned from the people who fought, bled, and died for the right to have a democracy where we all get to be heard. And the reason I was able to stand resolute, not discouraged and not intimidated, was because I knew that I stood arm in arm with you, protecting that precious fundamental right to vote. We won this election more than 6 months ago. But it was fewer than 7 days ago that this race finally ended. That's more than 180 days after Election Day, nearly $2 million spent, more than 68,000 voters' lawful votes put at risk, taxpayer time and resources wasted, immeasurable damage done to our democracy. While I am forever inspired by the commitment of North Carolinians to protect our rights, it doesn't have to be this way. Voters should not have to fight tooth and nail to have their lawful votes counted. Disappointed politicians should not use courts to try and get a different election outcome. We have before and may continue to see efforts to undermine our rights and our democracy. And just as you used your voices in this fight, I encourage North Carolinians to remember, you decide elections, not candidates, not political parties. And those that you elect are accountable to you. It is crucial for you to use your precious right to vote to elect candidates and especially judges who will put the Constitution, the rule of law, and their solemn oath above their own personal political ambitions and ideologies. As your Supreme Court Justice, it is the honor of my life to serve you, and my promise to you is that I will serve all North Carolinians regardless of whether they voted for me. I will defend the rights of all North Carolinians regardless of their political affiliation. I will uphold the rule of law and the Constitution without fear or favor. And I will always, always stand up for your rights and freedoms. Thank you. I would love if folks would want to come up and take photos, give me a hug, say hello, and please stay tuned for more information about the celebration to follow next month. Thank you.
Justice Riggs will stay here.